Welcome back to another NHL Daily News video with your anchor, Coach Frenchie. Today, we have a couple of news around the league, a couple of updates also for the search coaching for Detroit, Winnipeg, and Boston on Monday, June 27, 2022. Don't go nowhere. Before we start, we want to congratulate the Colorado Avalanche, the winner of the Stanley Cup 2022 with a W over the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1. They won the series in 6 games. Cal McCall, he's the winner of the MVP playoff with the Connie Smythe. So congratulations for Colorado Avalanche. Let's dive in and talking about the first news of the day. It's coming for the class 2022 Hall of Famer. They announced today who they are, and Daniel and Eric Sandin will enter the Hockey Hall of Famer 23 years after the twin were each drafted by the Vancouver Canucks and start the NHL journey together. Roberto Luongo, Daniel Alfredsson, Riikka Sallinen of the Finland women national team, and of course, Herb Carnegie is in the builder category, has all been selected for the class of 2022. So a great selection. Very interesting to see them when they're going to be introduced in November 14. Let's move on for the Boston Bruins. Announced they extend the contract, remain Bruins general manager Don Sweeney for a couple of years. We know the team in the last 6 years participate in the playoff, and 7 years with him as a general manager. The Boston Bruins has a record of 313 W, 162 loss, and 61 OT. This is become the third best point percentage in NHL with .641 since the 55 years old replaced Peter Chiarelli on May 2015. Great signature or hiring this one for the Chicago Blackhawks. This is completely officially done deal. We know the Hockey Nation Show announced this last week, but the Chicago Blackhawks announced today they hire for their 40 head coach on the history franchise, the Blackhawks. Luke Richardson, we know that he played over 21 years in NHL as a defenseman, and he has over 10 years behind the bench and around the Sven team in NHL. So great signature. We know Luke is a great teacher, great communicator, and a great motivator behind the bench. So I think this is a great asset for the upcoming year for the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's move on now for Sven's signature around the league. First, the Toronto Maple Leafs signed today Timothy Liljegren for a 2-year contract, AAV of $1.4 million per year. The 23 years old played 61 games last season with 23.5 goals, 16 assists. This is great for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Liljegren can play as a second pairing or the third pairing as a right defenseman. We know that Toronto are looking to add one more defenseman, and for the upcoming year at $1.4 million, I think is a good deal for both parties. Let's move on with another signature. This coming for the Vancouver Canucks. They signed 3 players. Most of them play in the American Hockey League. Guillaume Brisebois, Dries, and Steven signed a 2-way contract for the upcoming year. They passed most of the time with the Abbotsford Canucks in the American Hockey League. Dries, 28 years old, played 11 games with the Canucks, and Brisebois, 24 years old, and Steven, 28 years old, played their time with the American Hockey League last season. Great signature for both parties also, and it'll be interesting if one of them can join the Canucks for the upcoming year. Let's move on now for another signature, the last of the day. The Florida Panthers announced they signed a 2-way contract for 2 years with Matt Kenstead, the left defenseman. Played 10 games last season with the Panthers, have 1 goal, 1 assist, passed most of the time in American Hockey League with the Charlotte Shakers. So it'll be possible they return to 24 years old, like I mentioned to you, sign a second contract with the Florida Panthers. Let's move on now for a couple of news updates from organization. Let's start with the Winnipeg Jets. They are now going to move on for another round of the interviewing. We know they did already Andrew Brunette, Pascal Vincent, Rick Tocchet, and Jim Montgomery, and of course Scott Arnell. After the her from Barry Trotz, he's not going to accept the job. So the Jets are searching again to find going to be the next head coach for the upcoming year. Couple of news now for the search for the coach, head coach for the Detroit Red Wings. Now the Tampa Bay Lightning are eliminated. I would be surprised the Detroit Steve Eiserman looking to talk with maybe one or the two assistant coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then for the Boston Bruins, they start the second round interviewing this week. So a bit interesting. One of the three teams are going to announce the next couple of days who would become their head coach. Finally, the last news of the day is a trade rumor. New Jersey Devils and the Toronto and Maple Leafs are talking each other to swap their goaltender. We know Campbell, he became UF3 July 13, and Blackwood, 25 years old, still one more year at $2.8 million, become after that RFA for one more year. So I think for both parties, it's a good deal. Campbell, we know what he accomplished with the Toronto Maple Leafs the last two seasons, and maybe satisfied between the pipe for the Devils. And in return, the Toronto Maple Leafs have a young goaltender they can develop also, and a lower contract. With the money is a big problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll see this possibly happen the next couple of weeks. Here we go, guys. Quick, fast news of the day in the NHL with your anchor, Coach Frenchie, on Monday, June 27. Before we leave, wait for you. Don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the show, sharing this video, and finally, below this video, tell me what you think about different news around the league. And finally, one more thing, of course, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great day, everybody.